You don't want to see my other side. I'll give you a few hours for what I'm going to do to you to sink in your orange head. Get him out of here. 2 hours. That's all you have.
I must say it's an honor and a privilege to witness your life in action. Yeah, honestly, staging the whole voiceover and everything. And of course, recently you were even elected the voiceover or the president of the Voiceover Association of Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome to the show. I am so happy to have you, and I'm sure we're all excited to have you here. Okay, so we've seen you transcend different levels. Speaking of voice artistry, you've been a singer, and then you went into acting and voiceovers. So let's know. Most persons don't know about you being a singer. Let's know about that phase of your life and how you transcended into other aspects of your career right now.
I think that's something that I actually started with singing and acting from a young age. Started singing and had this ambition to be a big singer. And so while I was in secondary school, I was also doing a little bit of acting with the Kwara State Art Council, because I finished in Kwara State, Victoria College of Commerce, DD. And so when I came back to Lagos with my parents, there was that urge to want to sing that I started pushing it. It didn't materialize immediately because I joined the Anansa Playhouse way back then. Had quite a number of great actors who you've seen. RMD is one of them. And then we just went through it all, and along the line I had to leave Anansa Playhouse to go to school, go back to Ife to go and read dramatic arts. And when I came back, I still pursued my dream of singing, and I didn't release the album until 1992. That's for voiceover. I was working with Digitrack with Tunde Ajidedido when Sonny Rabo just walked into the studio, was looking for somebody to do a voice for him that day. Not that he couldn't do the voice. He's a voice artist himself, but he just needed somebody else. And I was working in the studio as a studio assistant and also like the image maker of the company. And he just said, I was hey, come and try it. And now the first taste of it was like tasting cookie for the first time. I tasted the cookie and I kept on going back to the jar. I started getting the mastery of voiceover. I went to school. I now understood that you had to do a lot in terms of voiceover, your diction, pronunciation, and breath control and all that. And well, here we are today, singer, actor, voiceover.
So speaking of roles, so what roles can you say that you loved so much being as an actor and you would love to redo so far if you are given the opportunity?
We are actually in the process of doing Black Arrow. We're trying to do the Return of Black Arrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, where it was everything, all the background work had already started until we lost Chico last year. But we're still going to go ahead. I'm talking with the wife and talking with somebody who is interested in funding the film. We'll do it in his memory. But having said that, I would not tell you that I have a particular role that I love so much as an actor. You see, because you're as good as your last role. You're just as good as your last role. So for me, every role, whether it's a tiny one, whether it's a big one, I take on the challenge.
I understand. Now your voice, sir. If I, personally speaking, I could detect your voice anywhere, voice acting or in movies. A lot of people have that. In fact, even with blindfolds on, they could say, "This is Segun Arinze." So did you train your voice to be this way, or were you born like this with this voice? And were there special things you did to
I think I'm lucky to say that it's a blessing, it's a talent from God. Because when I sing, you don't even realize I do voiceovers.
Really?
Yes. When I sing, you won't even know that that's the same person doing voiceover. And when I switch over to my voiceover mode, you won't know that I even sing. So I think I'm blessed with the range of that. And I think I took the base thing from my dad, my late dad. So it's something that I keep working on, I keep developing and improving myself as to how I want to sound, how I want to work, but the different perceptions of what I want to do. So for me, it just comes as a natural. But I keep working on it. In spite of the years of experience, I still keep learning. I still keep reading, trying to understand, try to perfect my voice. You know, one thing about voiceovers when you do voiceover is when you enjoy doing voiceover. You know, like James L. Jones. James Earl Jones till date makes money. Unfortunately for us in Nigeria, we don't make money from. We don't make residual money. But James Earl Jones makes it. I mean, imagine every day of your life you hear James Earl Jones. Right? Because this is CNN. That's some money going to his pocket, and he did that many years ago. This is CNN, and there, money. Me, I'll just do one voice. When you say, I don't pay you before. So it's like that. But I hope that as I become president of Association of Voice-over, that's one of the things I want to work on, residual money. Yeah, because I don't think I want to be seeing voice-over talents many years ahead or down the line, still grappling and looking for money. Listen, if a brand gets me to do a voice-over, I want to get residual money from it. If I act a movie, I want to get residual money from it. That's your retirement benefit.
Okay. Hearing you speak, you have so much passion for what you do, both voice acting and acting, as you say, acting on screens.
One of them. Oh.
Yeah, that's why you were, okay, then, let's see, you were president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, and now also president of the Voice-over.
Association of Voice-over Artists, yeah.
Of Nigeria. So, it's a very difficult and tricky question I want to ask. If you were to choose between these two careers, which will you choose?
None. I will not choose. I'm not going to make that choice. I'm not going to make that distinction. Because I've gotten to the pinnacle of my career on both sides. So it would be an injustice for me to say I'm sticking with this. I don't, and in the real sense of it, I really don't have. Come to think about it now, can't really say this is my favorite. It's like asking me between singing, acting, and voice, or whichever. I love all. I give the same passion, the same 100% I give to it. So whenever I'm doing any of the three, unfortunately, I left singing for a while. But if I have to go back to singing, I still bring on my A game onto it. So at every point in time, you must have your A game. And it was fun working on Gami and the living thing because it gave me an opportunity to work with a lot of actors, and I started seeing them from a different light. Because a lot of them don't understand what it is, that voice acting is different from acting in real life. Because this time, for voice acting, you're using your voice and you have to do all those expressions, emotions and all that. The animators understood who the characters were, so they worked in that. Like, for instance, you're seeing Dr. Coco. They used my hallmark. I put it there to work, and that's what you're seeing. And they had to develop a different kind of voice for it, so it doesn't sound like me. So so the work we did was very, very, very extensive and intensive. We had to, like, correct me if I'm wrong, we're about 6 months on The Voice. Kept on coming back and forth, changing, and we don't like this, we'll twerk it, we'll come back. So it's very different from when you're acting. So you understand? So it's very, very, very different. A different ballgame entirely. So that's how it is. I'm sure a lot of guys who worked with me, because I was the voice director for this, for you to do voice, it's got to be special. For us to pick you to come and do voice, you've got to be special. I also had to travel all the way to Enugu to go get Peter Doche to do his voice. I also had to get Sadiq, the late Sadiq Daba, may his soul rest in peace, to also come and then Joke Silva, Bimbo Akintola. So it was a whole lot of work doing Gami and the Living Things. And we had great fun.
I'm Team Coco all the way. Yeah, we have actually different teams. Team Coco, yeah. Proudly Team Coco, yeah. I'm not wearing my t-shirt. I should have worn my t-shirt.
No.
So yeah, Team Coco. Yeah. Gami feels like they are leading, but Team Coco anyways. But all the same, speaking of Dr. Coco, what similarities would you say you have with the character, and are you guys not similar in any way?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Let me be a little hasty. Maybe being obstinate. When you want something, you want something. And I'm that kind of person. If I want something, I don't care. I'll go for it. I'll dive into it. Not in a crooked way, not in a funny fraudster way. I'm not. Yeah. But when you put your mind on something, you get it. And I hate failures. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm serious. Ask my friends, will tell you I'm a very hopeless romantic.
It's fun to have you here.
Thank you.
Right here on Vantage TV Exclusives.
Thank you very much.
Before we let you go, now I feel like a lot of persons look up to you in some way or the other. They admire you or you inspire them. And some persons might not know, they might have been some rough roads, they might have been some obstacles.
They were.
So let's hear some of those things that people might not believe that, Mr. Segun Arinze went through this.
For instance, the road is so straight, smooth. There you're traveling on the road, you're flying high. That's your career. You're on a high with your career. And then once you get to a curve or you begin to see bad patches, that's the challenges in your life that you're facing. So you need to slow down, because if you go into the curve with so much speed, you'll crash, you just go off. So you need to slow down and make an overview, review, look at everything about your life, and slow down and go through that challenge. And once you go through the challenge, you come back again on the main road. So we've all had dark patches in our lives. I won't tell you a lie. I've equally had my own fair share of it. But I don't let those dark patches deter me. In fact, what it does is that it strengthens me. Because if anybody tells you in life that everything's going to be rosy, that's a lie. I've slept on the floor of the National Theatre for days, for weeks, for months, no accommodation. We're trying to carve a niche for myself, my friends and I. I've pasted posters in Lagos. I've taken rides in Molue buses. I've done menial jobs just to pay the bill. And so when I look back and I look at myself from where I'm coming, I don't take it for granted. And I always tell them, never be arrogant, because everything is God-given. I have this number of cars, I have this number of houses, I have this houses that have 10 bedrooms or 50 bedrooms, it's tastefully furnished. I wear the best designers, I wear perfumes. The minute you hold your breath when God says, come home, we are going down 6 feet. You know, the funny thing about it is that when you're going down, nobody's going with you. They'll just go up, they'll say, oh, yeah, imagine when one is dead at the cemetery, people are crying and everybody say, a phone call comes into one of the guys and say, hello, boss, how you doing? Oh, they don't pay the money to my account. Okay, wait, he's walking away. Yeah, in the grave, he's going there, he's moving on with his life. Just move on with your life. So in everything we do, just take life easy, one step at a time, and hold on to him up there. Just hold on to God. Because life is vanity. I don't say don't enjoy yourself. Please don't get me wrong. Enjoy yourself. I don't say don't get the best good things of life. Enjoy yourself. If I live every day like it was the last. But also have God. Have God in mind. Have God in mind. That man up there, just have in mind. That's all I can just tell you. Just have in mind.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Hello, my name is Segun Arinze, and this is Vantage TV. Keep watching Vantage TV.